2 women have lost their lives, over 50 injured in serial blasts in Ernakulam in Kerala. A 48-year-old man who was earlier associated with this congregation, going with the name Dominic Martin, has claimed responsibility for the blasts and has surrendered before the police in Thrissur. However, the police have not yet confirmed his involvement in this explosion. Here's the story.
Back-to-back blasts within minutes of each other. The final day of a prayer meet in Kochi's Kerala ended tragically. 3 blasts ripped through this congregation at the convention centre in Kerala's Kalamasheri. 2 women have died and over 50 people injured. Cops suspect improvised explosive device was kept inside tiffin boxes at the location.
So totally 52 persons were brought to the hospitals, including medical college. Here 37 persons were brought injured.
While the NIA team rushed in from Kochi and another team from Delhi set off for the location, one person, identified as Dominic Martin, surrendered before the police within few hours and claimed responsibility. The 48-year-old claimed that he had differences with Jehovah's Witness, the Christian sect that organizes a prayer meet.
One person has surrendered in Kodagara police station in Thrissur rural in the morning, claiming that he has done it. His name is Dominic Martin, and he claims that he belongs to the same group of Sabha. We are verifying.
This is a second terror incident in Kerala, followed by the train fire back in April where 3 people had died. Besides that, the NIA had also busted a Kerala-based ISIS module in July. With multiple terror instances being reported in Kerala, the spotlight is on the Pinarayi Vijayan government, which has called the case serious. Congress MP Shashi Tharoor tweeted, saying, and I quote, "To see my state falling prey to the mentality of killing and destruction is tragic."
We must not forget that this type of appeasement politics history, we have seen it in the history of India, always causes innocent lives to be lost.
These are early days of investigation and both the Kerala police and the NIA are probing the incident. Whether this was one person's vendetta against the event organizers or a larger terror plot, that remains to be seen. With Arvind Gunasekar, Bureau Report, NDTV.
H.B. Eden is Member of Parliament from the Congress Party. He represents Ernakulam in Parliament. We have Binoy Viswam, CPI MP. Rahul Ishwar is an activist. Yashwardhan Azad, IPS officer, will be joining me shortly. And we also have Ramaswamy Mayappan, who is an advocate. H.B. Eden, beginning with you, what do we know about the motive of this person, Dominic Martin, who has claimed to be behind this blast?
First of all, I would like to say that the incident happened at morning 9:30 this morning. So it is too early to make a comment or judgment on the motive or intention of the culprit. Luckily, we have gone far ahead in terms of investigation, I believe. But it was quite unfortunate that such an incident happened where around 2,000 people gathered and they were at the midst of their prayers. They were all with their eyes closed and in a very religiously they were doing their prayers, and that is when they heard a series of a huge blast at the center of the auditorium, later followed by 2 other blasts. I had friends who attended the ceremony. It was a religious conference for 3 days. It was a convention of the group called Yehovah Sakshi, and they are still terrified. It's quite unfortunate that we lost lives and many of them are struggling to retain their lives. So our major priority right now as a people's representative is to make sure that we don't lose more lives. We give the best of the best treatment to the people who suffered injuries and to make them mentally and emotionally strong to make that they survive the incident. We didn't expect such an incident to happen in Cochin, but unfortunately this happened. A lot of investigation teams had already arrived at the very right spot. They were given medical aid at the very right moment. The Kalamasheri Medical College, Government Medical College, is very next to the convention center, which was quite helpful to transfer the patients. Some of them have been transferred to private hospitals as well, but many of them have suffered serious burns and injuries. I don't think some of them would even survive for the next few days. So this was quite unfortunate, but to comment on the motive, I think we have had just a few hours of investigation, and it's too early
Yes,
to
certainly.
make a very...
Because the NIA will now be in Kerala tomorrow to oversee the investigation. Hebe Aden, before I move on to the next panelist, I want to understand from you, because what reports are suggesting is that Dominic Martin had claimed that he belonged to the same Jehovah Witnesses, the same congregation which was organizing this convention. So because you say that your friends were present during the time when the blasts happened, what have you picked up from them?
No, they all find this incident as a terrifying incident. They are all shocked and in a lot of pain and distress. What I gather, the information right when I went to the spot, the incident where Samra Convention Center, in front of the auditorium, I met a few people who attended, who are known to me, who are friends from earlier school days, were a part of the convention, and it was a 3-day convention. Fortunately, they were very disciplined in a manner that every morning they used to have an evacuation plan, like in an airlines you do. You say these are the exit doors, these are the entry doors, this is how the evacuation plan should be. Fortunately, that actually played a great role to save many lives. Instead of getting many of them in stampede, many of them could still save their lives. But it was terrifically, the entire area was covered with smoke and fire. So many of them couldn't see each other, and there were collisions as well. A man has surrendered himself, as you rightly said, but I don't know what is happening after that, or is there a conspiracy factor, more people involved, or it is the same person. But it is heartbreaking and unfortunate to see many of the leaders from the ruling party to make comments on this incident, which targets many people and organizations. It's quite unfortunate that even after a very few, in the first lap of the hour, responsible ministers of the cabinet are making statements against groups. They don't believe in the system or even in the NIA. It's quite unfortunate that.
So are you talking about cabinet ministers in Pinarayi Vijayan's cabinet in the state?
No, I'm talking about Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, who's a part of the ruling government in the central minister.
I'm coming back to you, sir, to get more details on this, because Binoy Viswam, the Chief Minister, has gone back to the state. He was here for a meeting, but the larger question is, who is this person, and is there some link to what happened in July when the NIA had busted terror module? Because at the moment, what police is telling us is that they are not ruling out a possible terror angle in this. So what had happened in July, is this linked to it? What are you, because since it's your government in the state, what else can you tell us?
I can tell you that we are really shocked, not a political party or a political front. The people of Kerala are shocked. It was most unexpected, unfortunate and painful for all. So I want to share that aspect of it. It is very immature and irresponsible to make it politicalized and to find somebody to be accused. As my friend Hebe Aden, the Lok Sabha MP from Ernakulam, just now mentions, it was really astonishing that somebody who is part of the central government, they were in a hurry to make some political mileage out of it. That is not the culture of India. I just want to read to you some 4 or 5 lines which I tweeted 7 hours before. In Kerala, the land of religious harmony, such an explosion is unexpected. should be handled with all seriousness and utmost responsibility. Present political situation in the country need to be considered. Unfounded comments and presumptions will be counterproductive. This is what I said as a responsible man from the Communist Party of India, who is part of the LDF government. This is the time to be responsible. This is the time to restrain ourselves from making irresponsible comments and making presumptions. It may give you some political advantage for some days, but don't spoil a country, don't make the people divided. This land of Kerala is known to the country as a whole.
Yeah,
It is
it's
the
the
land
God's
of
own
harmony,
country,
mutual
Binoy
trust.
Viswam, as it is called. A blast taking place in God's own country. Yashwardhan Azad, here is someone who the cops at the moment say they are not really convinced that he is the real conspirator, or are there some more people involved in it, because he has come to Thrissur police station and has confessed to this horrific terror act. But Yashwardhan Azad, the larger question is, he knew that there are 2,500 people present in this congregation, and then an IED blast is used. Certainly the motive was maximum impact.
Absolutely. This was done when maximum number of people were there. And this is one of the most terrifying incidents in Kerala, I would say. And I would refer to that module definitely, which you referred to just now, which was busted by the NIA, in which they were trying to create trouble. In fact, they had caught people who were trying to create trouble in religious places. So obviously, whenever there is an incident of this kind, there is a kind of a confession which you've got from the Jivohar community. That's fine. It could be a disgruntled man. But to organize a Tiffin blast, to organize something as difficult as this, would need some kind of support from somewhere. So if the police is looking into some other angles, I would completely agree with them. In fact, if you recall, the IPF was also banned last year,
Yes.
I think around
PFI.
September. PFI.
Yes.
And one of the reasons also for NIA entering this part of Kerala and other regions was
Yes.
to see that the radicalization attempts were being made. In fact, the IPF cadres were encouraged to go into other organizations like the ISIS, which is a little more comfortable there, and let another year. So I think this incident needs to be proved. It should not be made political at all. I totally
Yes.
agree with this, with the gentleman before. But it should be a thorough probe, because, mind you, from the experience we've had of some people going to the ISIS, action stations abroad, and whatever has come out in their confessions, it is important that we keep Kerala absolutely safe from the terrorist eye and aims.
Yes. Ramaswamy Mayappan, I agree with Hibi Eden and Binoy Viswam. Any kind of political statements should have been avoided at this juncture, certainly, because giving color to terror is something that will not lead to the truth. We'll not know about the larger conspiracy.
Maria, I'm with you to the extent that there should be no color given to terror. But the concern here is not the color, but the manner in which the state is governed and the responsibility that the state chooses to take. Especially when such modules are identified, the state immediately jumps to the defense of the module. The module is in question and not the religion of those practicing or those that belong to the module. The state always jumps to the defense as if it's the religion that is blamed. So the state, for its political gain, or the political party today in office, the CPIM or the LDF there, chooses to claim benefit of that religion and tries to support for appeasement. That's precisely what Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, the minister, had quoted. He's not talking about the religion practiced by the individuals or by those part of the outfit. It is about the state's action and the state's comments. And as a matter of fact, the incident that he pointed out to is also the celebration of Hamas that was done just the day before. And when such incidents take place in the state and the state supports such actions and does not question it, then immediately what is the reaction that's among the public? And today, even the Catholic Church has, the Catholic Church has questioned the same. They've stated that secular parties or the parties that claim themselves to be secular do not question such actions. How can you defend Hamas when they have just not, since October 7th, have killed more than 1,400 people? So it is the action of the state government or the party in the
that incident.
office
Yeah, Binoy Viswam, that incident that he is talking about happened just a day ahead, in which a Hamas leader, former Hamas leader, Khalid Mashal, had addressed a gathering and he had made some very, very inflammatory comments.
Now, do you think that I am here to support or highlight the arguments of the Hamas? Who told you that we are for the Hamas? We are for the people of Palestine. We are.
Correct.
And we will oppose the attack on the Palestinian people by the Israeli aggressors. And we have difference of opinion on the government of India's policy on the Middle East. And we are shameful that the government of India yesterday voted against the Indian policy itself. When the question of came there, we were abstaining from voting. And in that abstinence was, in a way, supporting the Israeli aggressors and the US supporters. And that is there. But never think that we are here to support the Hamas.
Yes.
Don't think that.
Fine enough. Rahul Ishwar, before I go back to the politicians C.B. Eden and Binoy Viswam, I want to understand from you, as a resident of Kerala, this certainly is a very, very disturbing incident. It comes on a Sunday where you have believers, in a congregation, and then someone who says in his confession on the Facebook that he was among them till he became disillusioned with his practices.
Yes. Mariaji, two submissions. First of all, I'm a Hindu right-wing activist, and I would like to place on record my apology to our Muslim brothers and sisters that I also doubted them, just like many of our right-wing friends. We thought it was on the context of Israel and Palestine, or a very condemnable incident where a Hamas leader came. As we all know, the news emerged that it was by Dominic Martin. He was a disgruntled person. He had issues with Jehovah Witness, some kind of a far right. I belong to right-wing, but he is a far right person. So he has some issues with them, saying that they are not taking nationalism enough. That's one of the reasons he stated that he attacked this congregation. So let us call a spade a spade. There are extremists in every community. In my community too, there are extremists. In Christian, Muslim, Hindu community, there are hardliners. We should be able to point them out and we should be able to isolate them. We should not confuse issues. There is no Hamas angle in this. Even though a person coming from Hamas addressing a virtual rally is absolutely condemnable, these are two different issues. This person, out of some kind of a far right jingoistic attitude, has done this, and he has even invoked national anthem for this. And I would like to tell him that even our honorable Supreme Court was magnanimous enough for the Jehovah Witness to say that if you don't want to sing, don't sing. And when you do a bomb blast in the name of national anthem, you are insulting Rabindranath Tagore and Mahatma Gandhi. So there is no need for such a far right or far left
But
posturing.
Rahul, from where are you picking up that national anthem part? Who has told
He said in FB Live, Dominic Martin himself said in FB Live that Jehovah Witness is misleading people. I have been with Jehovah Witness for 16 years. They are not allowing their children to sing national anthem. They are not allowing anybody to take any kind of sweets from other community. That is true. See, I had a very close Jehovah Witness friend. When I go from temple and offer him something, he will never take. See, may that be, but that cannot be the cause for a bomb blast. So it is some kind of a far right attack that really happened. Let us be open and honest about it, because terror at the end of the day, when a Hindu, Muslim or Christian does a bomb blast, it kills people. So there is no jihadi or Islamist angle to it. Let that be very clear. I'm a person who is outright to condemn Islamic terrorism, but this is a person who has far right leanings from Jehovah Witness community itself who has done this, and that is for as per his confession. Of course, like Haibiji said or Binoy Sir said, a detailed investigation regarding the background should be there. But the national media, including people like me, we were misled in the beginning, because naturally we thought a Hamas speech was there yesterday, the Palestine-Israel issue was there.
You are of the opinion, as a resident of Kerala, that the two are not linked, but the police at the moment are saying that they are not really going with the fact that it's a lone wolf. There could be a larger conspiracy. Hebe Eden and Binoy Viswam. Let me go back to the two politicians who have been, of course, because they have to take care of the constituents, but they are here on the show speaking to NDTV as well. So let me go back to them. Hebe Eden, come in on this. The larger point here being made is that there is need to go into the real matter. We should know about the truth.
Absolutely. As I said, it is too early to make a comment. That is the reason, being a responsible people's representative, my first responsibility is to take care of the victims who have been part of the blast, to give them all kinds of support. Second thing is to make sure that all the culprits, including the conspiracy-related matters, are brought into light. Today, we are having this discussion at 9, and it would have been 9:30 now. So it's just 12 hours after the incident. So even the police and the NIA and the respected agencies should be given some time to make sure that the real culprits, even if it is Martin or people who are part of conspiracy, should be brought to light. As Rahul Ishwar mentioned, there have been many confusions in the last few days. And today, after the blast, soon after the blast, when responsible people in the cabinet, in the ministry, who are a part of the constitution, are making statements which mislead people, which create hate amongst communities, which create a lot of anger and a lot of sensitiveness amongst the communities, are something which cannot be accepted. My state, my land, my country is something very precious to me.
Absolutely.
And Kerala always
Binoy Viswam, final words to you.
Of harmony.
Quick 30 seconds, sir.
No need to tell further. We stand for the country's unity. We stand for the people's unity. We are for the religious harmony. And we want to make sure that the people of Kerala will stand with the people of India to see that the line and the society and the politics of hatred has no space in this country and in the state. In Kerala, we are particular for that. We have a definite political culture, and that culture upholds the values of harmony and amity between the people. We don't want this country to be divided. Religions may be differ, politics may differ, but the people has to stay united with mutual trust and confidence each other.
Absolutely.
That's our policy. For that policy, our government is trying the utmost. That is the LDF. That's the thrust of the LDF politics. That's why we are left.
All right, Binoy Viswam, Hebi Eden, Ramaswamy Mayappan, Yashwardhan Azad and Rahul Ishwar, thank you so much for joining us. It's a story which is still developing, because we'll know about the truth, whether it's a lone wolf attack or there is a larger terror plot to it, because NIA has taken over the investigation. A story we'll continue to track very closely on NDTV.